Today we're going to revise on the topic of inverse proportions, and we're going to look at this question. The force of attraction F newtons between two magnets is inversely proportionate to the square of the distance x centimeters between them. So now we are talking about an inverse proportion. It is given that when the magnets are 4 cm apart, the force is 3 newtons. So what we can do is that we can actually write out this way. So we have a connection between the force and the distance. Alright, but they say that it's inversely proportional to the square of the distance. So we actually have a connection where it is actually d squared, and since they have given us an xcm, we can actually change this to xcm. So what we can do is that we can use the clue that was initially given. When the magnets are 4 cm apart, the force is 3 newtons. So in other words, when this is 3, my force is 4 squared, which will give me 16. So in other words, 3 newtons is related to 16 cm. Now when we talk about inverse proportion, it means that when one component increases, the other one will actually decrease. Think about the fact that you have a fixed number of chocolates. The more students there are, the fewer each one will get. The fewer students there are, the more each one will get. So this is actually how it works. So in other words, if I'm talking about 1 here, I can find out what was the original amount that we actually had. So when this actually decreases, means that we actually divide by 3. For inverse proportion, it will be the opposite. So when one decreases, when we divide by 3, the other one will actually multiply by 3. So 16 times 3 will give us 48. So this is like the original number of chocolates that we had. So how many each student will get depends on the number of students, isn't it? So what we can do is that we can say that F is the same as 48 over x squared. So this is the first answer for the formula connecting F and X. Now once we have the formula, they say that find the force when the magnets are 2 cm apart. So this is pretty simple since we know that X is already, the formula is given as such. So when the magnets are 2 cm apart, we have to always remember that 2 cm apart means when X is 2, x squared is actually equals to 4. So we have to use this. Alright, so my force will be 48 divided by 4, and this will give me 12 newtons. Now, the next part of the question says that when the magnets are a certain distance apart, the force is 1.28 newtons. Write down the force when the distance is half. So how we're going to do is that we're going to do it this way. Alright, force and distance. Okay, so we already know the connection. So in other words, we can say that when the force is 1.25, then we have a connection that this is actually 48 over x squared. Alright, so since it's a certain distance apart, I'm going to use big X to show it, meaning that that was the particular one that we're using. Now they want you to find out what is the force when the distance is half. So what we can do is that original, we use it as the original distance, which is x. So obviously when this is x, and if the connection is a square, we use this as x squared. Now they tell us that the distance is half. So new distance, we are going to half this. So don't forget, when we half it, right, we also have to make sure that we are going to square this up. So now we are going to work out the force. Don't forget, we always have an original of 48 to share out. Remember, this was like the number of chocolates that we have originally. So this is the original. We are given that we are going to halve the distance, so we are going to halve it, and the connection is a square connection. So what we can write is that we actually have this, alright, 48 over x squared over 4. Now this can be seen as 48 divided by x squared over 4. And like what you learned in primary school, if you want to change this to a multiplication, you will flip it up this way. Alright, and we can rewrite out this way, 48 over big X squared times 4. Now why do we write it this way is because earlier on we have already found out that if we have 48 over big X squared, the value is 1.25. So this is exactly the same, isn't it? 48 over big X squared. So we know that this is actually 1.25. So since we have a times 4 here, this is going to be the force.